To save some money here in Vegas, I mean, I stayed in my car.
Yeah.
I'm trying to play poker professionally, so like, I mean, just to save money, I would stay in my car for a little bit. Some nights I would just stay in my car just to save like $50.
But what about like people who choose to live in a car because they say it makes them happier?
I'd say you're fucking weird. I'd say
Really?
You're fucking weird to your face. Yeah, that's weird.
Because I live in my car full time by choice.
You do.
Yeah.
This is weird.
All right. What's up, everybody? This is Tony from Acting Nomadic. I am at the Las Vegas Strip right now asking people what do they think about people who live in their vehicles. Let's check it out. If you had to make like a judgment about that person, like their character, what would you say?
They probably are very reclusive, like more to themselves.
I think they're more of free spirit, travelers.
Would you ever consider living in a car?
I mean, I really love to travel. And if that means not paying rent somewhere and getting to see different things.
And maybe if you're like following bands around and like doing a whole like Woodstock thing.
What would you generally assume about somebody who lives in their car by choice?
Maybe low income.
I think of like a free child, like a wildflower.
Would you ever date somebody who lived in their car?
Depends. If they're just in a sedan car, they're probably struggling. I'd probably help them out. I'm not gonna just let them like rot in there.
What would you generally assume about people who choose to live in their cars?
I would feel that they fell on hard times and need a little bit of empathy from the rest of us.
What about people who say that they're happier living in a car?
I would feel that they have gotten rid of all the bills and expectations that the world puts upon them and are living their lives.
Wow, I have a different opinion. So I just feel they don't want to work, some of them. I mean, I feel like they would rather not have the pressure and the responsibility to have to draw a paycheck to live in a home.
Would you ever date somebody who lived in a vehicle?
Not living with a vehicle and not living with their mother either.
What would you generally assume about somebody who chooses to live in their car by choice?
I would think that they are trying to save money.
You said your nephew is considering this right now?
Yes, yeah, he's a college student who's working full time and his apartment's expensive and he's tired of just putting money into rent. I just talked to his mother about it last week, actually, so.
Sure. Was she concerned?
No, she gets it. Would I date someone who lived in a car? I think at my age, probably not.
What would be a general assumption you would make about somebody who chooses to live in their car?
If they want to live in a car and travel the whole wide world, go ahead. But if they're not traveling, they're in one spot behind a dumpster, lifeless.
Like say, for example, there's a person who has a full-time job, but instead of spending money on an apartment, they live in a car. What do you think about that person?
It depends on how long they're planning on doing that. If they're
Forever.
Forever, I feel like they're just not trying to have no responsibilities.
Right? I feel like I might know the answer, but would you ever date somebody who lives in their car?
Yes, I don't have a car yet. Yes, right. I will.
Wait, so you would date somebody who lives in their car so you could take the car and drive places?
Of course, it's Vegas, baby.
Would either of you ever live in a car?
I cannot do that. I need a big vanity to do my makeup. Yes. My feathers won't fit in a car.
You two are together, so just imagine you're single for a second. Would you ever date somebody who lived in a car?
No.
No?
No.
What about a van?
No.
No.
What about an RV?
Maybe.
Maybe an RV.
Probably
Those
not.
RVs are nice. Have you ever been in?
How do you think your relationship would hold up?
I think our relationship would hold up, but I wouldn't want to do it.
We wouldn't want to do it.
Would anybody here ever date somebody who lived in a car?
I mean, yeah, it depends on the person, but I mean, yeah.
Would anybody not date someone who lives in a car?
I wouldn't. That's just like not the kind of lifestyle I would want.
What do you generally think about people who choose to live in cars?
They're smart. They can take their house anywhere.
Would you ever live in a car?
I haven't, but I would.
You would?
Like a motorhome, maybe not like a compact because I'm a big guy, but yeah.
Would you ever date somebody who lived in a car?
Hell yeah, it's shaggin' wagon on wheels.
If there was a point in my life where I didn't have a bunch of responsibilities, I would live in a van and travel.
I can't see. Maybe for a short period of time. Like maybe if I wanted to travel somewhere, I would do it for a few weeks, but not long-term thing.
So what would you think about somebody who chooses to live in their car?
That they don't have any money?
They are saving money.
Would you ever live in a car?
Not if I had other options.
I would not want to live in a car, but if circumstances permitted, then that's all the choice I had. That's what I have to do.
What if you two, for whatever reason, had to live in a car? How do you think that would affect your relationship?
We would get through it.
We'll need a shower, but we'll get through it.
Chooses to live in a car? Chooses to live in a car. Or just incredibly frugal, you know, adventurous.
Good. Would either of you ever live in a car?
God, no.
Depends on the car. Do they still make Ford Excursions? Those things are like beastly.
He takes you to the parking lot. When you get to his car, you realize he lives in it.
Somebody's living in their car but still spending their money at the bar. That's ridiculous.
I don't know. Maybe he's a gypsy. He's worldly. I mean,
he's worldly and full of shit.
Well, you know, like I went to film school. You know what I mean? So he's probably got stories to tell.
So, what would you think about somebody who chooses to live in a car?
I think that they need to get a job and try and go and find somewhere to live.
I'm more so just grateful that they have a car to live in and they're not living on the streets. Or especially like grown men.
If you living in a car, you need to go get a job.
Right. But what about people who have jobs that live in cars?
They're just ignorant.
About what?
What are they doing with their money?
Like an RV or
like,
a car?
What do you think they're doing with their money?
Drugs.
So, what about, say there's a person who's sober, has a good job, but just chooses to live in a car to save money.
Maybe they just want to save their money. That's how the rich stay rich.
Yeah, do you think somebody could be really happy?
Definitely
not at all.
Not. Definitely not. All those luxuries, you're cutting them out, you know?
Hold on, he's buying you drinks. He's really not, he's super attractive. You go back to his car and then it's like, oh damn, you live here.
Oh, I'm stepping out. Yeah. I'm gonna be like,
that's a turn off.
Sorry, but my
you
friend
live in
just
your
called
car?
me.
What would you say to a person's face if they lived in their car?
What is it that you need? What are you struggling with in life?
I say go get a job, find you an apartment.
I live in my car.
Okay,
I'm working.
I didn't mean all that stuff I was saying. Not about you. And you are handsome.
Yeah, my car's around the corner if you want to, you know.
How are you?
But I would date a guy that lives in a car.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, no, only because
Hey.
it's you now.
We're all so spoiled.
Right.
That sometimes you need to realize how good you have it.
As always, thanks so much for watching. What do you want us to ask next time? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.